The Discovery Eliza Chen's boots echoed against the metal floor of Luna Repair Station's main observation deck. Through the massive viewport, Earth hung like a blue-green jewel against the black velvet of space, beautiful and serene. The view never got old even after 3 years as head engineer of humanity's largest orbital repair facility. "Chief, we've got a situation." The voice belonged to Marcus Reed, her second in command, his normally calm demeanor replaced with an urgency that made Eliza turn immediately. "What kind of situation?" she asked, following as Marcus led her through the corridor toward the command center. "There's an unscheduled arrival requesting emergency docking clearance. It's not in our system and it's not human." Eliza quickened her pace. First contact had happened 5 years ago, and humans had signed limited trade and diplomatic agreements with 3 alien civilizations, but relations remained cautious, formal, and strictly regulated. No alien vessel had ever approached a human facility unannounced. The command center buzzed with activity when they arrived. Station Director Haruki Yamamoto stood at the central console, his face illuminated by holographic displays showing a ship unlike any Eliza had seen before. "Chen, good. You need to see this," Yamamoto said, expanding the hologram. "This is a Taurian heavy cruiser, military grade, and they're requesting immediate repairs." Eliza studied the vessel. Its hull was an iridescent black material shaped like a manta ray, with twin propulsion systems glowing faintly blue at the rear. Along its starboard side, a massive rupture exposed internal systems, some of which were sparking visibly even from the distance of their scans. "That's a warship," she said unnecessarily. "Why would they come here? Taurians have technology at least a century beyond ours." "That's what I asked," Yamamoto replied. "Their captain claims their warp stabilizer is critically damaged. They've bypassed 3 of their own repair stations to reach us." "That makes no sense." Eliza zoomed in on the damage. Their own facilities would have replacement parts, specialized knowledge. "They're specifically requesting human repairs," Marcus interrupted, checking his datapad. "The captain mentioned something about human innovation techniques having a reputation." "A reputation? With who?" Eliza asked. "We've barely fixed our own ships in space, let alone alien vessels." Yamamoto's expression remained serious. "Apparently, a Centaurian merchant vessel received emergency repairs at Orbital Platform 12 8 months ago. The engineer there improvised a solution when standard procedures failed. Word has spread." "Director, this is highly irregular," said Security Chief Rivera from across the room. "That's a military vessel of a species we barely understand. For all we know, this could be reconnaissance or worse." Yamamoto considered this. "Their distress signals check out. According to regulations, we're obligated to provide assistance, if we can." "We'll need to see the damage up close," Eliza said, making her decision. "I'll take a team to assess whether we can even help them." 30 minutes later, Eliza stood in the cavernous main hangar bay with a team of 6 engineers and 4 security officers. The massive doors parted slowly, revealing the looming shape of the Taurian vessel. It was even more impressive up close, easily 3 times the size of their largest repair cruiser. With a pneumatic hiss, a section of the hull melted away, forming a perfect archway. A ramp extended, and 3 figures descended. Taurians stood, nearly 7 feet tall, with sleek muscular bodies covered in short blue-gray fur. Their faces were feline with 4 eyes, 2 large primary ones and 2 smaller ones above, and their ears were pointed and constantly moving, swiveling to capture sounds. The leader wore what appeared to be a military uniform with insignia Eliza couldn't decipher. "I am Captain Vexillar of the Taurian Expeditionary Force," the leader said, their voice surprisingly melodic through the translator device on their chest. "We thank you for receiving us in our time of need." Yamamoto stepped forward with a formal bow. "Director Haruki Yamamoto of Luna Repair Station. This is our chief engineer, Eliza Chen, who will assess if we can assist you." Captain Vexillar turned, all 4 eyes toward Eliza. "Engineer Chen, your reputation precedes you." Eliza blinked in surprise. "My reputation? Captain, I've never worked on a Taurian vessel before." "Not you specifically," Vexlar clarified, mandibles clicking softly. Human engineers. Your species approaches repairs differently. When conventional methods failed aboard the Centaurian vessel Starwind, your people succeeded using what you call improvisation. Eliza exchanged glances with Marcus. One successful repair had created a reputation across spacefaring species. I'd need to examine your warp stabilizer system before promising anything, she said cautiously. Of course, please follow me. The interior of the alien ship was surprisingly warm and humid, with curved corridors lined with what appeared to be living material rather than metal. The damage was evident as they approached the engine section, support beams twisted, conduits rupturing with strange fluids, and at the center, the warp stabilizer itself, a crystalline structure twice Eliza's height, shot through with fractures. What happened? She asked, running a scanner over the damage. Gravitational shear from an unmapped neutron star, Vexlar explained. We had to make an emergency exit from warp space. The standard procedure would be complete replacement, but the nearest, compatible parts are 17 light-years away. Eliza studied the readings, frowning. This technology is far beyond our capabilities, Captain. We don't have compatible replacement parts. We do not seek replacement, Vexlar said. We seek human repair. I don't understand. Your species solves problems differently than ours, the Taurian explained. Where we see only standardized solutions, you see possibilities. The Starwind's captain told others of how humans repaired their antimatter containment field, with materials never intended for such use. The field now functions 18% more efficiently than before the damage. Eliza spent the next 3 hours examining the warp stabilizer with her team, taking readings and consulting with the Taurian engineers. The technology was advanced, but the principles were recognizable. The crystalline matrix channeled and balanced enormous energies to create a stable warp field. Back in the station's engineering lab, Eliza spread the data across multiple screens. They're right about one thing, she told her team. We can't replace it, but maybe we can repair it in a way they haven't considered. How? Marcus asked, scratching his head. That crystal matrix is grown, not manufactured. We can't replicate their material science. Eliza tapped her stylus against her lips, thinking, we don't need to replicate it. We need to stabilize it differently. She pulled up scans of the fracture patterns. These look like stress fractures. What if we treated this more like setting a broken bone than replacing a machine part? For the next 2 days, Eliza's team worked around the clock. They developed a scaffold using a titanium ceramic composite that could withstand the energy flow while supporting the fractured crystal. Instead of trying to replace the damaged sections, they created a framework that would allow the crystal to function despite its injuries. When Captain Vexlar visited the lab to check on progress, Eliza explained her approach. In human medicine, we sometimes use supports to hold broken bones in place while they heal naturally, she said. We're applying that principle to your warp stabilizer. The scaffold will redirect energy flow around the damaged sections while maintaining field integrity. The Taurian captain's ears flicked forward with interest. You are treating our technology as if it were alive? In a way, Eliza admitted. Your systems seem to have adaptive qualities similar to biological systems. So we're working with that rather than against it. Fascinating. Our engineers would never consider this approach. On the 3rd day, they were ready to test their solution. The scaffold was installed with precision, and energy was gradually fed back into the warp stabilizer. The crystal hummed, vibrations sending ripples through the air as power increased. Field stability at 62%, reported one of the Taurian engineers. 65%? 70%? Eliza watched the readouts nervously. They needed at least 85% for safe warp travel. 75%, 82%, 89%, 94%. The Taurian turned to Vexlar, mandibles spreading in their version of astonishment. Captain, field stability exceeding pre-damage parameters. This is unprecedented. A murmur ran through the assembled engineers, human and alien alike. Vexlar approached Eliza, towering over her. Engineer Chen, you have done what our best technicians claimed was impossible. Not only repaired our ship, but improved it. The captain performed a formal gesture, crossing two arms over their chest. You have earned the gratitude of the Tarian Expeditionary Force. Later, as the Tarian vessel prepared to depart, Captain Vexlar requested a private meeting with Eliza and Director Yamamoto. There is something you should understand about what has happened here, the captain said once they were alone. Ship technology throughout the galactic community has followed standardized paths for millennia. Innovations come slowly, methodically. That seems efficient, Yamamoto noted. Efficient, yes, but also stagnant. Vexlar's secondary eyes blinked independently of the primary ones. Your species approaches problems differently. You see materials, not just for their intended purpose, but for what they could become. You treat machines as if they have potential beyond their design. That's just human ingenuity, Eliza said with a shrug. When you've got limited resources, you learn to work with what you have. Perhaps. But this ingenuity, as you call it, is rare and valuable. The captain's voice grew more serious. I must warn you, word of what you have accomplished will spread. Others will come seeking human repairs. Others? Yamamoto's brow furrowed. How many others? Many. Vexlar looked between them. There are factions that will not welcome this development. The major shipbuilding guilds profit from replacement rather than repair. Your approach threatens their business model. We're just a repair station, Eliza protested. We're not trying to disrupt anything. Intent matters less than effect, Engineer Chen. The captain moved toward the door, then paused. Prepare yourselves. The galaxy is about to discover humanity's unique gift, and not everyone will be pleased. As the Tarian ship disappeared into the darkness of space, Eliza stood at the viewport, her mind racing with possibilities and concerns. You think the captain was exaggerating? Marcus asked, joining her. I don't know, she replied honestly, but I have a feeling we're about to find out. She couldn't have known then just how right Captain Vexlar would prove to be, or how quickly their quiet repair station would become the center of a galactic controversy that would change humanity's place among the stars forever. The phenomenon, 3 months after Captain Vexlar's visit, Luna Repair Station was unrecognizable. What had once been a relatively quiet facility servicing Earth's modest fleet now buzzed with activity around the clock. The station's 6 repair bays, originally designed for human vessels, were constantly occupied, with a waiting list stretching months into the future. We've received 12 new requests since yesterday, Marcus reported, sliding a data tablet across Eliza's desk. 3 Arcturian frigates, a Delphian science vessel, 4 independent traders, and even a Proximan royal yacht. Eliza rubbed her temples. Dark circles had become a permanent feature under her eyes. Where are we supposed to put them all? We're operating at 300% capacity already. Director Yamamoto is in talks with the Earth Union about expansion funding. The revenue from alien repairs is breaking all projections. Marcus grinned. We're the most profitable human facility in space now. Profitable and exhausted, Eliza sighed, pushing away from her cluttered desk. Have the parts for Bay 4 arrived? The Meridian cruiser needs its plasma conduits recalibrated by tomorrow. On schedule for once, but we have another situation. Marcus's expression grew serious. There's a SETI diplomatic transport requesting emergency docking. Hull breach, life support compromised, 7 critically injured crew members. Eliza was already moving. Clear Bay 2, get medical teams standing by. The SETI vessel limped into the repair bay, atmosphere visibly venting from a jagged tear across its upper section. Rescue teams rushed forward as the ship settled onto the landing platform, sealing emergency hatches and extracting injured crew members. The captain, a willowy humanoid with pale, translucent skin that revealed the flow of golden fluid beneath, approached Eliza with obvious pain in each careful step. Engineer Chen, they said, voice vibrating oddly through their translator. I am Captain Thala. Forgive our unscheduled arrival, but your station was our only hope. What happened, Captain? Eliza asked, guiding them toward a medical station. Pirate. Attack in the Tau Sigma corridor. They disabled our shields with targeted EMP bursts. Thala winced as a medic began treating a crystalline growth protruding from their shoulder. Our hull integrity systems failed catastrophically. Why come here? The Centauri outpost was closer. Thala's skin flushed amber briefly. Engineer Chen, surely you realize by now that human repairs are special. Even during our approach, your teams have already stabilized our life support in ways our own engineers would not have attempted. Later, as Eliza supervised the repair teams working on the SETI vessel, she found herself studying the damage with growing curiosity. The hull breach wasn't simply a structural failure. The material itself had changed properties, becoming brittle and porous in a way that standard scans couldn't explain. Dr. Kapoor, she called to the station's chief scientist who was examining samples. What are you seeing? Lakshmi Kapoor peered up from her analysis equipment. Something fascinating. This hull material isn't purely synthetic. It has properties consistent with biological systems under stress. Biological? You mean it's alive? Not alive in the traditional sense, Kapoor clarified, adjusting her instruments. But responsive to environmental stimuli in ways mechanical. Systems shouldn't be. Look at this cellular structure. The microscopic image showed what appeared to be a lattice of crystalline formations interwoven with fibrous strands that pulsed faintly. This is why standard repairs fail, Eliza realized. Excitement building. The alien shipbuilders are incorporating semi-organic components, but they're treating them like mechanical parts when they break. Exactly, Kapoor nodded enthusiastically. And your human repair techniques, which adapt to the unique conditions of each problem rather than following standardized procedures, are accidentally perfect for these hybrid systems. Eliza spent the next week developing new protocols based on this discovery. Her team began approaching repairs with a paradigm shift. They weren't just fixing machines but treating semi-living systems. They developed frameworks that supported natural regeneration, energy fields that encouraged cellular regrowth, and adaptive interfaces that responded to each ship's unique biological signatures. The results were extraordinary. Repairs that would have taken months in alien facilities were completed in weeks. Systems returned to function with efficiency ratings that exceeded their original specifications. Word spread even faster through the galaxy's shipping networks. Not everyone was pleased with these developments. The Earth Union Commercial Intelligence Office sent representatives to investigate what they called potentially disruptive technological transfer. You need to understand the implications here, Chief Engineer, said Agent Diana Ortiz during a particularly tense meeting. You've stumbled onto something that could upend the balance of power in several sectors. We're just fixing ships, Eliza protested. No, you're revolutionizing how ships are repaired, Ortiz countered. The Galactic Shipbuilders Guild has filed formal complaints through diplomatic channels. They're losing billions as captains delay replacements in favor of human repairs. Director Yamamoto leaned forward. Are you suggesting we should stop providing services that are clearly in demand? I'm suggesting you need to be careful, Ortiz replied. There are corporate interests that stand to lose everything if your methods become standard practice, and they won't simply accept that without a fight. The warning proved prophetic. 3 days later, a sophisticated cyber attack targeted the station's repair databases. Only the quick action of the security team prevented the complete destruction of their research and repair logs. The attack signature matches known patterns used by the Proximan Corporate Intelligence Division, Security Chief Rivera explained during the emergency briefing. They weren't subtle about it. They're sending a message, Yamamoto concluded grimly. Before they could fully process the implications, an alert sounded throughout the station. A massive vessel had appeared at the edge of their sensor range, moving slowly toward Luna Station on minimal power. Configuration identified, announced the operations officer. Void Runner-class battleship, registered to the Cassiopean Defense Fleet. A collective gasp ran through the command center. The Cassiopeians were one of the oldest and most technologically advanced civilizations in known space. Their ships were legendary, constructed with technologies that bordered on the mythical. "They're hailing us," Marcus reported, his voice tight. The main screen activated to reveal a being unlike any Eliza had seen before. The Cassiopean commander appeared to be composed of swirling mist contained within a roughly humanoid force field, with points of light where eyes might be. "Luna Repair Station," came a voice that seemed to echo from multiple sources at once. "I am High Commander Zillith of the Cassiopean Void Runner Eternity's Edge. We require your assistance in a matter of utmost urgency." Yamamoto stepped forward. "Commander, we're honored by your presence, but our facility isn't equipped to service a vessel of your class or technological level." "You misunderstand, Director," the misty figure replied. "We have specifically sought out your facility. Our quantum core is experiencing a cascading failure that our technicians cannot resolve through conventional means. We require human innovation." The image shifted to show the interior of the massive ship, where a sphere of swirling energy was contained, within a series of failing containment fields. Arcs of power lashed out sporadically, damaging surrounding systems. "If the quantum core fails completely," Zillith continued, "the resulting space-time rupture will destroy your moon and possibly cause catastrophic damage to your planet. We have less than 72 of your hours before critical failure." Silence fell over the command center as the implications became clear. This wasn't just another repair job. It was potentially an extinction-level event for Earth. "We'll do everything we can, Commander," Eliza heard herself saying, even as her mind raced with the impossibility of the task ahead. "Please proceed to our coordinates." As the massive battleship slowly approached Luna Station, dwarfing it like a whale beside a rowboat, Eliza gathered her top engineers. "This is beyond anything we've attempted," she told them honestly. "We're talking about technology that's centuries beyond our understanding." "Then why us?" asked Rajiv, one of her youngest engineers. "Why not go to their own repair facilities?" "Because we see things differently," Eliza replied, remembering her conversation with Dr. Kapoor. "We don't just fix machines according to specs. We treat each problem as unique, each system as something alive and responsive." She displayed the sensor readings from the Void Runner's quantum core. "This isn't just a mechanical failure. The quantum core is reacting like a living system, under extreme stress. We need to approach this as if we're treating a patient, not just fixing a machine." As the Cassiopean battleship entered docking range, Eliza felt the weight of not just her team's lives, but potentially billions of lives resting on her shoulders. Whatever they discovered inside that massive vessel would either confirm humanity's unique place among the stars or lead to their destruction. The revolution, the Cassiopean battleship Eternity's Edge dwarfed Luna Station's largest repair bay, forcing a unique docking procedure where only the ship's central section containing the quantum core could be accommodated. As Eliza led her team aboard, the scale of the vessel was disorienting. Corridors that seemed to shift and realign, gravity that subtly changed direction, and technologies that defied human engineering principles. High Commander Zillith's misty form guided them through the ship. "The quantum core is the heart of all Void Runner-class vessels," they explained, their voice resonating from all directions. "It exists partially in our dimension and partially in others, allowing for the manipulation of space-time that powers our most advanced systems." "How did it become damaged?" Eliza asked, monitoring the readings on her specialized scanner. The energy patterns were unlike anything she had ever seen, pulsing with what almost seemed like panic. "We engaged in combat with a scourge incursion near the Perseus Arm," Zillith replied. "During the battle, the core was struck by a temporal disruptor. Our standard stabilization protocols have failed to contain the resulting cascade. They arrived at a massive chamber where the quantum core floated, a sphere of swirling energy contained within multiple layers of shimmering force fields. Even through the barriers, Eliza could feel its power resonating in her bones. Around the core, Cassiopean technicians worked frantically at control interfaces. "The containment fields are at 31% efficiency and falling," reported one of the alien technicians. "Estimated time to complete failure, 58 hours. Eliza approached the nearest monitoring station, studying the alien symbols and diagrams that shifted and changed as she watched. Despite the unfamiliar interface, the underlying principles were becoming clear to her. The core isn't just damaged, she realized aloud. It's desynchronized from your ship's dimensional frequency. Zilith's misty form swirled more rapidly. You can interpret our systems? Not the details, but the patterns, Eliza explained. It's like the core is a living entity that's been traumatized. It's trying to protect itself by shifting between dimensional states, but that's causing the cascade. For the next 12 hours, Eliza and her team worked alongside the Cassiopean technicians, developing a deeper understanding of the quantum core's nature. Dr. Kapoor's analysis confirmed Eliza's initial impressions. The core exhibited properties consistent with a highly advanced semi-organic system, but on a scale and complexity far beyond anything they had encountered. It's responding to our attempts to repair it, Eliza noted during a brief break. Almost like it's afraid. Anthropomorphizing alien technology is not scientifically sound, Dr. Kapoor cautioned, though her eyes reflected fascination. Maybe not, Eliza agreed, but it gives us a framework for understanding how to approach the repairs. If we treat it like a traumatized entity, rather than a malfunctioning machine. Their discussion was interrupted when the station's security chief burst into the room. Chen, we have a situation. We've detected unauthorized personnel accessing the station's main engineering database. And there's more. A shipment of components for the repair scaffold has been found to contain sabotage devices. The corporate interests agent Ortiz warned us about, Eliza realized. They're trying to ensure we fail. Director Yamamoto joined them, his expression grave. It's worse than that. We've received a formal cease and desist order from the Galactic Shipbuilders Guild, citing violation of proprietary technology agreements. They've convinced 3 major powers to support sanctions against Earth if we continue these repairs. They can't be serious, Eliza said incredulously. We're trying to prevent a catastrophe that could destroy Earth. They're deadly serious, Yamamoto replied. The Guild stands to lose trillions if your repair methods become standard practice. They'd rather see us fail spectacularly as a warning. To others, High Commander Zilith, who had been silently observing, spoke. This political maneuvering is irrelevant in the face of our current crisis. If the core fails, there will be no Guild concerns to address. Agreed, Eliza said firmly. We continue as planned. The next 48 hours became a desperate race against time, as Eliza's team worked to develop a solution for the quantum. Core Luna Station's security forces fought a shadow war against saboteurs and cyber attacks. Twice, critical systems were compromised, forcing the engineers to adapt and improvise. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. Marcus, monitoring the core's energy fluctuations, noticed a pattern. It's not random, he called to Eliza. The core shifts dimensional frequencies in response to specific harmonic resonances. It's like it's trying to communicate. Eliza studied the patterns, a wild idea forming. What if we're approaching this all wrong? What if instead of trying to force the core back into alignment, we create a bridge between its current state and where it needs to be? A dimensional resonance bridge? Dr. Kapoor looked skeptical. That's theoretical physics, not practical engineering. Maybe for us, Eliza acknowledged. But look at how the core responds when we adjust these field harmonics. It's almost like it's reaching out, trying to find a stable configuration it can trust. Working with the Cassiopean technicians, they developed a radical new approach. Instead of conventional repairs, they created a harmonic resonance field that would adapt to the core's fluctuations, gradually guiding it back toward stable synchronization with the ship. This approach has no precedent in our engineering doctrine, Zilith observed as they prepared for the attempt. That's kind of our specialty, Eliza replied with a tired smile. The implementation was delicate and dangerous. As they activated the resonance field, the quantum core's erratic behavior initially worsened. Energy discharges shattered 2 containment barriers, forcing emergency evacuations of parts of the ship. Containment at 17%, reported a Cassiopean technician, their misty form flickering with what Eliza had come to recognize as anxiety. Core dimensional shifts accelerating. Stay the course, Eliza instructed, making minute adjustments to the field harmonics. We need to show it we're not trying to force it. We're creating a path it can choose to follow. For tense minutes, nothing seemed to change. Then, almost imperceptibly, the violent energy fluctuations began to stabilize. The core's dimensional shift slowed, becoming more rhythmic, more deliberate. "It's responding," Marcus whispered in awe. "It's actually following the harmonic path." Over the next 6 hours, they guided the quantum core back toward synchronization with the ship's systems. With each passing hour, the containment field strengthened as the core itself began to assist in the process, adapting to the harmonic bridge Eliza's team had created. "Containment at 67% and rising," announced the Cassiopean technician. "Quantum core achieving primary synchronization." When the core finally stabilized completely, the chamber filled with a gentle, pulsing light that seemed to wash over everyone present. Eliza felt a strange sensation, almost like gratitude, before it faded. "Quantum core stability at 100%, declared the technician. "All systems returning to normal parameters." High Commander Zillith approached Eliza, their misty form now calm and steady. "Engineer Chen, what you and your team have accomplished defies explanation by our standards. You have not merely repaired our ship, you have revolutionized our understanding of quantum core technology. We just treated it like a living system instead of a machine," Eliza explained, exhaustion catching up with her now that the crisis had passed. "Perhaps that is precisely the revolution," Zillith replied. "For millennia, we have built increasingly advanced technologies without fully comprehending their nature. You have shown us that our most sophisticated creations have transcended simple mechanics. They have become something more." The implications of what they had discovered spread rapidly throughout galactic society. The Cassiopeans, impressed by the human approach, shared data from the repair process with other major powers. The evidence was undeniable. The most advanced ship systems throughout the galaxy exhibited properties consistent with semi-organic, responsive entities rather than purely mechanical constructs. 2 weeks after the successful repair of the Eternity's Edge, Eliza found herself addressing an unprecedented gathering at Luna Station. Representatives from 17 spacefaring civilizations, the Galactic Shipbuilders Guild, and the Earth Union filled the station's main conference center. "What we've discovered isn't just a new repair technique," she explained, displaying holographic data from dozens of successful repairs. "It's a fundamental shift in how we understand starship technology. The most advanced vessels aren't simply machines. They've evolved into hybrid systems that respond and adapt like living organisms." The guild representatives looked displeased, but they remained silent as Eliza continued. "For too long, shipbuilders have been creating increasingly complex technologies without recognizing what they were becoming. By treating these systems as entities that can be healed rather than just machines to be fixed, we've unlocked potential that was always there, waiting to be recognized." After intense negotiations, a new galactic cooperative on advanced ship technologies was formed. Luna Station would become its headquarters, with Eliza appointed as its first director. The guild, recognizing they couldn't fight the tide of change, negotiated for significant positions within the new organization. "You've changed the course of interstellar technology," Director Yamamoto told Eliza as they watched representatives depart for their various homeworlds. "Not bad for a repair engineer from Earth." Eliza smiled, looking out at the stars beyond the viewport. "We just did what humans have always done, adapted to the situation, and found solutions others couldn't see. And in doing so, changed how an entire galaxy views technology," added High Commander Zillith, who had remained as the Cassiopean representative to the new cooperative. "This is merely the beginning. The bridge between living systems and technology that you've identified opens possibilities that will transform space travel, communications, perhaps civilization itself." 6 months later, Luna Station had expanded to 5 times its original size. Engineers and scientists from across the galaxy worked alongside humans, studying the semi-organic properties of advanced technologies and developing new approaches that recognized and worked with these characteristics. Eliza stood in the newly completed central observation deck, watching as ships of all configurations arrived and departed, no longer just for repairs, but for research, collaboration, and exchange of knowledge. Marcus joined her, handing her a cup of coffee. Quantum communication arrays based on your resonance bridge technology have cut interstellar communication time by 60%. The Arcturians are talking about adapting it for a new generation of medical technology. Not bad for a repair job that started with a damaged Taurian cruiser, Eliza remarked. Do you ever wonder why it was humans who figured this out? Marcus asked. All these advanced civilizations with technologies centuries beyond ours, and we're the ones who saw what they couldn't. Eliza considered this, watching as a massive Cassiopean research vessel glided past the viewport, its quantum core now visible as a gently pulsing heart at its center. Maybe it's because we're still figuring things out ourselves, she suggested. We don't have centuries of established doctrine telling us there's only one way to solve a problem. We still look at the universe with wonder rather than certainty. Human. Ingenuity seeing the living heart inside the machine, Marcus mused. And that, said Eliza, is why alien warships keep coming back to human repair docks.